Hey, welcome back to the channel. I promise I will not drag you through a bunch of leather work because I know this is an aircraft building channel. But I just had to show you kind of how my leather project is going along. I've got my parts all cut, and then I wet formed these parts, and then this. So I have a pen holder, and then this is where I'll keep my registration in this pocket on the front. And then this is my chart pocket or checklist or whatever here. So now I'm just getting ready to dye it with some dye and getting ready to do the stitching. Before I do the stitching, I actually have to build something called a stitching pony. So that wood that I had that I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with, right back there, because it wasn't suitable for aircraft. But it's beautiful wood anyway. I'm gonna make a stitching pony out of that. Strange term, I'd never heard it myself until recently. But yeah, but hey, where we're at with the Plein is I'm getting ready to just mark the location of where I'm gonna put the actually I don't even really have to mark it, it's just beside this gusset. This is where underneath where will be located the holder for the cable that's going to be for the trim tab. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all this apart and get just kind of get all the pieces taken off. Then I've got some some mounts to do here. I've got the brackets that go on here for the fairleads for the rudder cable. I've got to get the rudder horn in. I've got the elevator horn made, and I've got to get that in place. And then I got my seat belt came in. I've got that at home. So I've got a couple notches to cut in this for the seat belt. I'm going to go ahead and get the throttle. Not the throttle. The throttle comes much later, but I'm going to get the trim tab, the trim cable, because I'm going to got a hole that I've got to drill through here, and then that will, of course, mount to these locations on its way back, exiting here, going straight back to the bracket. There'll be plenty of flex in that so that it can work its way up and down. It doesn't travel a long ways, but it travels enough. And yeah, so I've got all that to do. As soon as I get kind of this taken off, I'll get this. I can get this taken off now. Take that off. Then I'm gonna start. I'll get this removed, and once I get that removed, I will take everything out of the inside. I probably will work on the rudder cables, at least the mounts and stuff for that. I may do that later. But anyway, I'm gonna get everything out of here, seat and all. And I'm going to get the landing gear off so that I can start to get, I can round off the edges, front and back edges, but then I'll have the fuselage in a place where we can get it sealed up and all that good stuff. So yeah, so that's what I'm up to, and we'll see what we get into here. All right, what I'm working on today is now that I've kind of gotten things sort of taken apart, I'm gonna get this done just because it's at a really convenient height right now. So I'm gonna get this out of here. All right, so I want to mark where the cable comes straight into here, and I'm just gonna set it there. I think I'll measure here. Alright, that's the location. I can go back here. Back here. And I can make a line here. Okay, I've got the spot now where it goes on the, where it's going to pass through here, but what I need to figure out is, see, I've got at least 5/8 of an inch, so I'm going to go 3/4 over, and that'll be about where, maybe I'll actually go an inch. That'll give me room for a grommet. Alright, that's where that hole's going to go. But we need to check and make sure that we're not interfering with the where the rudder cable fairlead goes. So I'm going to go grab the plan and figure that out real quick. Alright, so we're going to have to switch gears real quick because this fairlead is actually, this cable fairlead is actually in a very similar spot to where this cable, where I was about to route this cable. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch it up, and we're going to go ahead and make those fairleads, and we can get those mounted. At least know where the location is, so that we're not interfering with this. It ends up being 9 inches from the bottom of the fuselage here, 9 inches up, so that would be 9 1/8 from the inside. Actually would be 8 7/8. 8 7/8 from the floor here, and when I measure that off, I am actually almost exactly where I was about to put that hole as for the other cable. So let's get that in place first, and we'll get those marked out. It shows you right on the plan right here what that looks like, and pretty simple. Get a little chamfer on each side, drill a 1/4 inch hole, and this will be pretty easy to make. So let's do that. All right, so it looks like we've got half inch. Let's see if we can get this figured out here. Then we'll round it off over here on the belt sander. But first we'll go ahead and make a second one. So the way I did this is I just drilled one hole and I put a bolt in it just to hold it, and then I drilled the second hole. Let me show you that again. I drilled one hole and I put a bolt in it to hold it. Then I drilled the second hole and I put a bolt in to hold that one. Then I drilled my 1/4 inch hole, and now I'll take it to the bandsaw, and all I got to do is cut along the same edge, and I've got 2 matching pieces. So, all right. Okay, so I've got my fair lead here, and you can see. You might not be able to see the line, but got a line marked where I'm centering up on the 8 7/8. And then these are actually attached with wood screws, so what I'm going to do is put that on there. I'll take a wood screw and I'll just use it to mark the location of the where I'll drill some pilot holes. Alright, so now I've got this one mounted where it goes, and now all I have to do is drill this 1/4 inch hole through the bulkhead. And first I'll get this one over here mounted the same, and then I can run the drill through, and then I can figure out where I'm going to route my cable for the trim. So, okay, moving on here. These blocks, there are a couple blocks right here that actually go in front of the mount for the elevator cable, and they basically, since the cable for the seatbelt harness actually runs all the way back here and loops through here and underneath this cable, and then comes back up, not the cable but the hard points of the cable here, and it loops back up and creates a loop there. These blocks go in underneath here like so. They go right there, they get epoxied in place on both sides. So I've got those made and ready to go in place. And then we have these from 6 1/4 inches from the front edge of this member here. We actually get the center line of a couple of blocks that are going to mount the fair lead holders for the rudder cable, and those are right here. So that's where these go. And so what I'm going to do is get those located. I've got them made right here. And so they are 6 1/4 inches forward of here, of right here. And that's where our, let's see where our hold down is. Hold down is right here. So you can see the hold down right here. So the member forward of the hold down, 6 1/4 inches to the center line. So we'll go 6 1/4 inches from the front edge here of the member this way, and then these blocks go underneath here as well, except they actually get mounted next to, they don't go underneath the longeron, they actually go next to it. So they'll be something like this is how they'll get put on. So, and it looks like it's a little bit of a slant maybe to the top edge on this side. No, that's a pretty good fit. So we'll make sure that fits in there good. We'll mark those out where they go, and we'll get those two epoxied in place, and then that works out really well. A couple more things to do there, and then I've got some other fairlead pieces to put in the bottom, and we'll do those after we do these. So let me get these completely prepared, and I'm searching for a tripod. Here it is. Let me get these prepared, and then we'll move on to the other piece. And the other piece doesn't get epoxied in place. It actually gets goes through. I believe it's on a different sheet than this one. So let me find the right sheet here. Yeah, so the station just forward of the rudder steering arm is where these go, and we've got basically nylon fairleads that are going to go through the plywood down here. They actually get mounted in this piece of plywood right here and right here. So, and that's so the cables can come through there. The cables will exit out the side of the plywood right here and attach to the steering arm here. So I'm going to make sure that I've got a little bit of epoxy to clean out here. On one side, right down here. I believe it's on this side. So that's good. And then we will measure our 6 1/4 inches forward here. And I think I'll do it from the side. Let's see here. 6 1/4. Right here. And we'll transpose that to the top. And 6 1/4 over here. There. And we'll just get a couple lines here. Now that line, since this fuselage is tapering, that line is not exactly where it should be, but it at least gives me the 2 points that I can get 2 straight lines from. Since I just transposed the line from the side up vertically, puts me here and here. So that's where we're going to be. there and right there. And we can just give that a check here. Should be 6 1/4. It's right on the money. So not that line and not that line, but the other 2 lines. Okay. So now we'll just get the center of this block, okay, which is here. And all we got to do is line that up, like so. And got some epoxy in there too. All right. All right, and then we have to just taper this just a little bit. We got to take a little bit off of this because it sits in there at just a little bit of an angle. So, all right, so I'm going to get both of these set up, ready to epoxy in. These are already good to go here. They have a nice fit, so they're good. And then we'll jump to getting those epoxied, and then we can work on the other fairlead part. All right, I'll be back. All right, so I'm gonna come in here with a 1/2 inch Forstner bit, and because of the plastic pieces that I'm using are these right here, and I'm gonna come right in the corner of the pan. There we go. Give myself just a little room. About halfway through, and then we'll see if we can get into the backside and come the rest of the way. Not really. All right, so I got those in where I want them. One there, and now I'm mixing up some epoxy so we can glue these 4 pieces of wood in place, and that gets us set up good for getting really close to being done with most of the just lead work, so that we can actually get it sealed up and ready for the covering process. I do have my I got my seatbelt harness here. I've got to make the holes in the headrest for that to go through, and then we can figure out the length of cable and swage some cable. But there's no reason to really do that until we get a little further here. So, and I may actually connect my harness to the cable with a carabiner, just so when I take my headrest off, if I need to take the headrest off, it'll be easier to actually disconnect the harness, since it goes through the whole harness goes through the headrest, and it doesn't actually come off very easily. So anyway, enough of that. Let's get some things clamped in place here. So just make sure you get these where they go. All right, this one's going to go over here. All right, epoxy on the top. All right, so thanks for hanging out with me today, and we got these blocks under here in place. We got these 2 blocks here for those fairleads in place. We got these fairleads in, and I'll put some torque seal on those later on after I varnish. And then, well, you already saw these before, so we got that stuff done. And that's good. So yeah, hey, if you're not a subscriber, I invite you to hit the subscribe button and the little bell so you don't miss any of my episodes. And as always, I'll catch you later. All right, so I got everything dyed the way I wanted it. I wanted a nice, kind of a nice dark, nice kind of dark leather. And then after I got it dyed, I started to glue these two together to make the holes for the stitching. But then I realized that I can't do that until I get this part actually stitched. So these 2 pieces are glued on, to this piece. And this is the leather cement that is used for that. Seems to it works really well. And its main purpose is just to hold these together until I get the stitching in place. So the next step is I've got the I got the parts here put together for the stitching pony. And let me get these separated here. So how this goes is this is the base. This is the base for the pony right here. And then this goes like this. So this part here gets glued and screwed to the base. That's this part right here. Let me show you this. Like so. Then this section gets hinged over here. Gets a hinge in it, and then I'll have to probably roll the edge on the bottom. Then this peels away and opens up so that you can put your leather piece in there. And then I'll have a carriage bolt that goes through here, which I have over here. I'll make my own knob for it, but I'll have a carriage bolt. It'll be just a little bit low, maybe about right here. And it's really pretty simple. I mean, it's just some 3/4 inch material. I just used epoxy because that's what I have, but it could have been easily done with wood glue. So I just have to dress these up a bit, get that put together, and get that finished up. Once I get that, then I'll be ready to clamp this in place and get some stitching done. So, all right, and I think this is gonna actually look really cool. Really cool inside the Plein here, wherever it's going to end up, which I'm guessing it's going to be over here on this side wall somewhere. So probably in this neighborhood right here. So if you get a look at that, it just looks awesome. So that's exactly what I was going for. So all right, now, and I'll Velcro that. So I'll have a strip of Velcro across the top, strip of Velcro across the bottom. I'll just be able to Velcro that in place. So that'll be easy. But yeah, so I'm looking at all the dust that fell from the ceiling last night. We actually had an earthquake here. It was like a 4.5 earthquake, and so it shook a bunch of black dust loose from up there. But all right, cool. Well, I'm gonna get set up, and we're gonna get some things done here. So all right, so I'm gonna make my own knob for the pony, for the stitching pony. And in order to do that, I'm going to first mark out the circle. I'm just going to use 1 5/8 inch. So I'm going to basically get the radius there, which is a 1/2 inch plus 5/16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that'll get me to my location here. Okay, now for the kind of the cutouts in that, all I have to do is put my point right on the line somewhere. It doesn't really matter where, and wherever that intersects, is where I'll be drilling for a cutout. And then all I have to do is put this on one of those intersections and then draw that. So here, and then that intersection. And what I'm doing is this divides up the circle evenly, and see that falls right on that point. So then I go on this intersection, and we cross right there. So now I have equidistant intersections all the way around and a hole in the middle. So now I'm just going to mark each of these. The center will be a 1/4 inch, which will match my match my hole saw here. I'll show you what I've got going on with the hole saw. So all I'm going to do with the hole saw is it's going to drill my 1/4 inch hole through the middle, and at the same time it'll just create a little outline of a nice outline of the circle. So now the next thing will be to just want to get that well established, and I hope we're still in the middle. We'll check here. Yeah. Okay, so each of those are marked. Now I'm going to get a Forstner bit. All right, now we just come over here and we're gonna cut that out. All right, after a little bit of sanding, this is what we got. That's the knob. It's not perfect. I mean, there's a couple of the legs of it that are a little bit wider than the others, but but I'm all good with that. So now I'll just take the carriage bolt and get that in here, and get the we'll have to make a mark where we got to chisel out a little bit to get that to fit in there, and then we'll end up gluing that in place. So okay, that's the knob. On to the next part. All right, so I finished up my stitching pony, and you can see that here. I will put some sealer on this, probably use some urethane or something like that, but this is how it looks, and like right there. And so you just open it up and you slide in a piece of leather that you're going to be stitching on. Tighten it up right there, and then you're all set. You're ready to stitch. So that worked out perfectly. It was super easy to build. Didn't take a whole lot, except, you know, it takes a little time away from airplane building, but this is part of it, so no problem. So I've got that ready to go, and this is how my piece is coming along. And after Michael said something which really, he was of course absolutely right, your airworthiness certificate is supposed to be visible. So what I've done is I've cut in a pocket, a window in my pocket, and I just repurposed a little piece of my my rib building jig. I repurposed a little piece of that, and so it might have a few scratches and maybe a touch of epoxy, but that'll just be part of the character of the whole thing. So, but that worked out. That'll work out really good. So slip that down in there. So now what I have to do is I just made myself some lines. I've got to put some holes in here for stitching. I'll stitch these two together, and I mean, the glue would probably hold it just fine, and I probably don't have to stitch it, but I think I would prefer to stitch it anyway. So I think I'm going to actually do that. I'm going to go ahead and put stitches there. And then I had already punched this, but I'll be able to kind of line up everything using my tools here, and can get this in line here, wherever that is. Find that first mark, which is right there. Then I'll be able to come over to the other side and do the same. Be able to line these up and have them find the marks that they were in, which are actually right there. So, like so. And then the glue is actually still attracted to each other a little bit, but I'll put some more glue on it and just glue it in place like this, and make sure that, you know, I don't have to make new holes, and my stitches are all, my stitching holes are all in good shape. So first order of business is to get the holes in this so that I can stitch this first, and then I can stitch this to that. I can stitch my pin holder, and once I get that done, then I can glue this to the backing here, and then I will re-punch these holes through the backing piece, and then I will have then I'll stitch that, and then I'll have a really great looking pocket that'll go in the airplane side. So yeah, all right, so yeah, thanks for checking this out. I do appreciate it, and I will show you how I do the kind of the stitching and all that. Once I'll probably do that at home, so I'll bring you into that as well. All right, so for now, I'll catch you later.